Alright, today we're having a second look at Little Zim's Workshop by Velma Forever. Alright, so here we are in Little Zim's Workshop by Velma Forever. We're starting a little bit into it because this is a second look. I almost screwed that up. This is a second look. I've seen it before. So yeah, Melengard, Velma Forever, depending on where you know him from, and he'd asked me to kind of give a look at this one for the... Hello, my brain works. I'm trying to talk and move fast at the same time. It's not working very well. Because he's got the contest going up soon, and it's kind of wanted to do a little bit... I missed the floating thing again! Alright, we'll talk about that more in the hub. But, so, basically the thing is here, I'm taking a look at this to give a help out, and it is a second look, so I do kind of know pretty much how I feel about the level. And it does make it a little bit tough, because, a lot of the things that I wanted to point out, because Velma had asked, kind of point out things that had done wrong and things that might help out people who are going to be going into the contest. But I don't think like a lot of what's wrong with the level is something that really creators can account for, because it's a lot of like how the engine works and how the servers work and load and lag works, and there's like a lot of luck in that. We could see in our run that doing really lucky job with the loading. We haven't had any issues with load or lag, which is something that like comes up fairly frequently. In this level, I played this level earlier this morning, and I had an actual 2.5 minutes of load time to get in the level itself, and it was like, that's kind of, it's a little bit of an issue. Oh fudge! Oh fudge! Oh fudge! Oh fudge! Oh fudge! Thank you. How did I get? What is going on with our score? I haven't been paying attention, and suddenly I've just done twice as well as I usually do. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. What? I don't know. I missed something. I have to watch out. I'm gonna have to like watch my own VOD to see how we accomplish that, because I really don't know. I like this level a lot. I've hardly been able to talk because I've been just rushing. The level does a really great job in keeping pace, and I love that for us. Look, this score is twice as good as I ever get in this level, and I was not paying attention at all? How does that work? What the heck happened? I didn't... Look, there's prizes. You can get prizes if you want. They're neat. Like, honestly, they're cool. I like the prizes. I want that stop sign. Come back here. Thank you. We're gonna take the stop sign. Grab that stop sign. We're gonna go talk about this back to the hub. I am so confused. I am so very deeply confused, and that's okay. We got the race done in like just about 3 minutes, so that's pretty perfect timing. Suddenly, I'm 17th place. What happened? See you in the hub. See you there. See ya. And we're back. And Little Zim's Workshop from Velma Forever, also known as Melengard. And this is, I'd say it's definitely a strong green circle. And it's a good example, I think, of why I do enjoy sometimes coming back and doing these second look episodes at levels that I've played before, because I can tell you that my impression of this level has improved drastically from the first time that I played it, which was on stream. And when you're playing things on stream and your attention is split in a dozen different ways, and you've got like extra draw on the server and the connection and the equipment itself, and like the level, one thing I do need to kind of front end things here is that the level is not treated kindly by the engine and by the server in the first place. Usually the first run through that you'll do, there's going to be a pretty large load up in the front, and it's going to be kind of laggy throughout your first run. I found that I did the first run, and then I restarted within the level, and my second runs and those further from that were all fine. But like, I had all of those things going on, and I'm trying to do a dozen different things, and my walk away from the level playing it was like I enjoyed it, and I kind of got where Melengard was going with the level, but like it didn't really like click with me. So to come back and play it this time, and now I've played it probably over 20 times over like a couple of weeks actually to do this episode, and it has really grown on me. It is a very well put together and professionally presented level, and I love it to pieces. With presentation, it's kind of like low-hanging fruit talking about a Melengard level, because he does such a great job with presentation, and it's really on display here. It's not just like that the materials are well chosen, it's not just that like it's well decorated and you've got movement in there, and there's some nice layering with like stickers and decorations, and the, you know, the different, what do you call it when you tweak it so it appears a little bit further, a little bit farther back in layers, so it's got like a nice texture to it. Like all of this stuff is going on, but it coheres so well as like a conjoined piece. You've got it feels like LittleZim's workshop, like a place where LittleZim would put together, you know, these races and challenges, and it's like it feels like itself. It feels like a place, and the lighting as well. Something that Melengard pointed out when we looked at Craft Space, like. We looked at it on stream, and I played it for Archives like a couple weeks back, or maybe a week back, and like how important lighting can be to levels, and it's something that I've noticed over the years, but very much like in a gross sense, like is it too bright, is it too dark, can I see what I'm doing? But that actually like really granular changes and fine touches with lighting can really have a huge impact, and this level and many of Melengard's levels have got this kind of like soft, diffuse lighting and camera work going on that really does give it a professional feel, and I love it so much. Melengard is so good at just like giving you a visual environment to work with, and it's great, it's awesome. But not just the visual aspect of this level, I think, is really strong, but the gameplay as well. You've got this grappling hook race, and this does what I think a lot of really good races try to teach me, and I always fail to learn, because I'm very impatient and I like to be like jumping and moving, and that sometimes you do really need to pace yourself. You need to think about like where you're putting your jumps, and if you're jumping too early or too late, so that you keep that score chain active. I'm someone, when I've got, for example, the grappling hook, and I tend to stay on the grappling hook really longer than is necessary to make jumps, because like I want that flow, I want that swing, and sometimes you really don't need it. Sometimes you want to let it go a little bit earlier so that you can keep on the actual score chain. And this level, like, it does a really good job of being like, no, you need to be jumping here, you need to be bouncing here, you need to be on the grapple hook this long and not longer. And I really enjoyed that, and I could kind of feel that as I was going through, and I was paying more attention to the level and paying more attention to what I was doing. And like, that's not something that I got in my first playthrough, because I was overly focused on too many different things at once. And like, it's really cool that it manages to accomplish that. I didn't find anything in the level really that I found like unfair, although there are a couple of parts that I don't necessarily like, but I don't think that they're bad either. The one that really stands out in my mind, and it catches me like every time that I do the level, like every first time in a new series of runs at it, and you've got that car section, and so you're running through and you're going to swing below the cars, and then you're going to bounce through across to the top, and you want to jump over, bounce, swing in between them, you know, kind of get to the next section there. And I find with the way that the cars are on like a bolt, and they wobble just a bit, not a lot, but just a bit, and it's just enough to kind of throw you off if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. And even if you are, I feel like the variability there in that section, because of just like physics and how momentum is going to work, that it can throw you off from what feels like it's like a really good strong run to like maybe muffing that jump that comes after the second car, and then you've got like repeat the whole process again, and it can really kind of slow you down in that section. Again, I don't think like it's unfair, but the variability does make for something that can't necessarily be accounted for. So there was that. There's a bit with a layer launcher that comes a little bit after that point, and this is kind of more of a me problem, but I'm never quite sure where you can deploy the grappling hook when you're in like a layer launch arc to actually you know, be in the right layer to grab something, and sometimes I find myself like throwing it off too late and it ending up like being too low for the actual grapple to engage, and then I hit the spikes and I die. That's maybe more of a me thing, but it does kind of come up. Now there was one thing that I feel like Melangard put a lot of work into making the level replayable, fun, and short enough that you can actually sit and practice it. And it's got that triangle feature at the end of the race where you can restart the race, so it's a really neat animation on that as well. I thought that was really, really cool. But now there is one thing. You get this hint early on, and there's like a couple of different hints that'll play the first time you run through. And one of them tells you that, you know, there are these pink stars in the level that will give you 5,000 points that will stop your the multiplier from disappearing. Who want to keep an eye out for those. And I spoke with Melangard about that because I was a little bit confused because I could only find one pink star, and Melon said that there was maybe a little bit of confusion in how that's presented. What it should mean is that there are 4 possible points where the single pink star can show up. Now the first couple of times when I was doing like level run chunks, and I was always, because I was going for the archives recording as well, and I was always like backing out completely from the level, which was causing the star to load in the same place every time, which is after this velociraptor that you drop through, and you're going to want to like, you're going to drop onto some bounce pads. They're going to swing you straight across, and you don't want to engage a grappling hook. You just want to swing into the pink bubble, the pink floaty thing, and then get the bonus and progress on. And I thought that it was only there, and I was like, well, why am I not seeing it anyplace else? But what's actually supposed to happen is that like each time that you reset from within the level, it will put the star in one of 4 locations. And that's kind of like a thing, because I'd kind of trained myself for that one location that I knew that it was showing up, and now it's like showing up in different spots, and I've got to like retrain myself, and some of those spots are like a little bit awkward. The one that I found most awkward was it can appear kind of a little bit over and to the right of the second car in that jump section that I told you about earlier, and that one's like really awkward to pick up. And amusingly, that run was the one that I got my very best score, which was almost 400,000 points. Still not in the top 5, which is in like the million section, but like I thought I did really well there. So that like adding that random aspect, semi-random aspect, to make it a little bit replayable, I think will force the player to kind of like learn almost 4 different routes for the race, and it makes it more interesting from a replay standpoint, but it makes it more difficult from a learning to speedrun standpoint, a learning the course for best score standpoint. So maybe keep that in mind, that if you want to like learn a particular course for the best score, instead of resetting from within the level, actually like hit the scoreboard back all the way out, and then, you know, restart from the title page of the level, and like that'll kind of lock the star into appearing in one location. But this level is so cool. It is so great, and I really, really love it, and I'm really glad that Melangard had asked me to take a second look at this, because it definitely deserved one. There is one thing that I will point out, and this, as the level says, is LittleZim's workshop. And like, LittleZim doesn't get a ton of love in the community, but I do feel that LittleZim does get some representation within community levels. But where's Big Zam? Where's Big Zam? When is it Big Zam's time to shine? Look at this guy just bouncing away, and we never see Big Zam. I feel like my challenge to you: make a level with Big Zam, make a good level with Big Zam. Give Big Zam a reason to believe, a reason to go on, and a reason to compete with the little brother Big Little Zim. But I've said like way too much. I gotta go. Melangard, thank you so much. As always, thank you for all the support that you've given me. A great creator and a great friend. Everybody, check him out. He's super cool. But that pretty much does it for us here at Bisco About. So from me, Bisco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.